Welcome back to the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters, everyone, live here in Dallas. And while the sun is beginning to set on what was a normally warm day here, things have started to heat up with inside the convention center for what is the Masters. Now, this is where things start to get a little dicey. We have best of threes on our hands right now, and that would mean that we have set the stage for Liquid versus North here as one of our first best of three, or actually our very first best of three of the tournament, the Group A upper bracket semifinal. This one's sure to be a banger, and if you're sitting down at the Honky Tonk Hotel right now, if you're sitting down at the Honky Tonk restaurant, why don't you just go ahead and sit back and let us explain to you what it is that's going on here. I've got some pretty bright faces in Chad and Matthew here to talk about it all. Welcome back, Chad.
Is it like a truck stop?
Honky Tonk?
Yeah.
It's like a country music type bar.
Okay,
yeah.
So topical for, yeah, but this is where we get into the meat and potatoes of the event, right? Well, that was just the entree that we had. Now the best of threes is where we get going. We have best of threes the whole way through at this point, and this is what we like. And Liquid versus North, I guess this could be considered a little bit of an interesting matchup because people would have been expecting us to see Vitality versus Liquid again. We just had that in the Grand Finalist Summit. Vitality, however, dropping 16-14 to North, and thus are in the lower bracket.
Yeah, which is kind of saddening in its own way, Matthew.
I mean, it is surprising a little bit, yes, but this is best of run, right?
Yeah.
You win the pistol round, one crucial round, the economy is against you. I know, Chad, you have a particular opinion about the economy right now.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Obviously, we would have expected Vitality to be here. Now, on the side of Liquid, I think North might be maybe an annoying opponent to play against because we don't really know what to expect from them. Valdez no in-game leading. We haven't seen the totality of their map pool and maybe the strategies they want to use. So could be a trap for Liquid potentially.
It could be. How about we take a look at this bracket and group as it's unfolded thus far. This is how Group A has shaped up. You're going to see some teams going on as expected. That would be the likes of Liquid, which has netted us this matchup against North. Then you've got the other teams that have kind of fallen. Tyloo that has fallen to Nip, and now Nip using a stand-in in Dennis. We know about all the ESTA issues, all these things of the side. That's going to be a rough one for Tyloo, who now find themselves in the lower bracket against Wendigo.
But they should have a real opportunity to beat Wendigo, right? Because they also have the stand-in issue with Calyx having to come on in for blocker. So that one there, it should be a bit of a saving grace for Tyloo, having to play both teams with stand-ins in this tournament. You don't get an easier situation than that. On the other side of things, the same could probably said for Vitality, who get to play against the Thai team now. We saw some good moments out of QQ God, but otherwise, when they flipped over to the second half, Liquid just destroyed them. Yeah,
we're going to flip over right now into a tweet. We've got one loaded up for you all to kind of dissect on our own end, just about the contrast, I guess, between these two teams is what we're looking at. I think we can go full screen with it so that we can run through the whole thing as it is. It looks like we're comfortable in Dust 2, not dropping a single round in the second half, and start DreamHack Masters Dallas off strong. So, then again, on the other side, you have the, well, didn't get enough of our best of one win. So what is your take of these tweets, guys?
Can you see the tactical tweet? We are comfortable on Dust 2, knowing, you know, against North, just putting the pieces here and there, saying, hey, by the way, if you want to play Dust 2, we're ready. We feel comfortable on it.
Well, that's a curious question, right? Because
the biggest question, Chad, and I hate to break it off right here, we got to look into some map vetoes. I believe we need to get down to those meat and potatoes that you so promised here in this great state of Texas.
I think I know the bans. I'm pretty sure that Liquid are going to ban Train, and North should be taking Vertigo out because Liquid have actually been flirting with Vertigo online. They were playing it a lot with an ECS. So I think those will be the bans we see coming through here. But the picks are really curious because Liquid lost to Vitality in that final on Nuke and Overpass. Now, we just saw North beat Vitality on Overpass. So with those transitive properties,
we're doing the math again.
If they play Overpass, North should win. That's not how Counter-Strike works.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if 1 and 1 make 3, then yeah, something like that. Roll those vetoes. Let's get into it. Let's see if what you guys said holds any weight.
What do you think they're going to pick?
I think on the side of North, Nuke is open, and that could be a possibility. It's been a map that they have played for the longest time. Liquid have, you know, accepted to play Nuke. They have floated it, as you would say, but they're definitely not experts. So Nuke definitely a possibility now for Liquid. You said it, Overpass. Is it a question now for them? It used to be one of their strong maps.
They say it's their strongest.
You also have Dust 2 that's open. Dust 2 is not a good map for North. Liquid feel comfortable on it. You know, it's a good map to show all the strength they have individually speaking on the lineup, so I wouldn't be surprised for a Dust 2 peak.
Or Mirage.
Mirage, I feel like Mirage is more of a middle ground. You would leave it open as a third map potentially.
They were feeling it.
Who do I know? Mirage.
Well, the thing is that I think, you know, Dust 2 also can snowball. I don't think Mirage has the same level of snowball opportunity that Dust 2 has, right? Because of how spawn-based Dust 2 can potentially be. I think the next bans, look, I feel like they're both going to be comfortable with Overpass. Overpass
how about that?
Third. So I was going to say, I thought that actually Liquid might want to get rid of Inferno because as a more strat-based team, North have a lot of executes to be throwing at them, but Overpass, again, this is one, if we do go the distance, look, I think Liquid will have North covered. I think at this point, this is where Liquid just really outclass North.
You say Liquid, and that's who we're going to take a look at deeper first. I mean, we just got to witness them down in Los Angeles at the Summit, what they were capable of, what they also found weakness in, which was at one point there, I believe it was a 16-3 loss to the hands of Vitality on Nuke. Now, that is kind of indicative to where we're going unless something's changed.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of that defeat of Liquid against Vitality at Summit. I think it was Vitality maybe overperforming a little bit, surprising people. Alex was playing better than he used to. Zaiwu was lights out. I hope that it hadn't shaken Liquid too much, because they are still top 2 in the world.
Yeah.
They are supposed to outclass North, as you say. They are supposed to make it to the grand final minimum at this event. That's what they should do. Now, you know, if you're Liquid, you deal with it. You know, you lost to Vitality, you got surprised. Now you come to this event, you have an opportunity to get revenge on them potentially. So forget about that. Just go for your playoff run, and it starts now.
Well, I consider the fact that they've come second so many times, and this isn't a diss at them by any means, that coming and losing yet again, it doesn't even really matter who the opponent is at this time. Well, as you can see, Stewie,
motivation.
Stu, just waking up.
Yeah, he's looking sprightly as ever, but I don't think the position that they're, you know, coming second again, I don't think that's the opponent they lost to is the factor. I think it's the fact that they just came second again, and that should be easier to get over when you've done it so many times. Coming into this, I think the eye is going to be on the prize, because this is a free opportunity for Nitro and the boys to put up another notch in the Intel Grand Slam without Astralis here and get that 2-0, well, I guess it's going to be 2-1 at that point in terms of notches in the belt, but a bit of a head start.
Yeah, I mean, it does potentially give them that second notch towards it. And again, no Astralis, no Navi. I mean, this isn't going to be an easy road for them nonetheless, but certainly one where they're going to look to take the higher road here and winning these best of threes and heading on into the arena days easier.
Yeah, and these individuals that we're getting up on the screen here speak for themselves, right? The fact is we don't need to dive into a huge amount of detail on why these are, in my mind, the best North American roster ever assembled, at least in terms of pure and utter skill and ability. Each individual here can take over a game. You know, we've seen them all do it. They've all had different opportunities of doing it. And I think the really cool thing with this team is now that they have a Dren come in as a more tactical coach, it gives them a platform where they can still focus, Nitro can still focus on the nitty and the gritty, keeping everybody together and the mid-round calls, and Adren can just geek out as hard as he wants on the cool flashes, the cool smokes. Nobody else on the team has to do that, because Adren, he's known to do that through the entirety of his career.
Yeah, and again, the ruling here with coaches is just a little bit different than others.
Yeah, they get to talk
time.
during freeze time, right? So obviously, as a coach, that gives you more impact throughout the game. I also want to give thumbs up to Stewie that we see on camera. He was a star player. Now I feel like he's more of an utility player, he's more of a support player in Liquid. He fills the gap where they need to be filled, and he does that quite well. Yes, the stats will put him up here in the top, but that doesn't matter. I think he's filling his role in Liquid. I think he's bringing also a psychological push to the team. He's a motivational guy. He's emotional. Sometimes you need that. So definitely a roster that is, I think, full. We are complete right now.
Yeah.
There's no changes to be made.
I mean, we're looking at a roster where each of these guys are talented enough to pick up multiple different roles, right?
Yes.
We're talking opping, we're talking IGLing, we're talking even beating North even today could be on the cards.
Even beating North.
I think it should be. Look, I think North are on the right track. I like the team that they've assembled. I'm very happy that Volda has taken the mantle of the in-game leader. I think the rest of the team, everybody considers themselves to be around equal peers, right? I think that's a big point for Yugi. The most recent addition is maybe in the past when he was playing on other teams, like, maybe I'm better than my teammates, right? In this one here, I don't think that you could ever have that thought. You've got Kirby, who's won a major. Volda, in my mind, the best player in Denmark outside of Astralis. You've got AZ, who, if he can get back towards his peaks, or at least even close to, he's phenomenal. And Gade, I think he needs a new name. Well, Nicholas Gade, good for 2.
Yeah, that's got a nice ring to it. It's like we've heard it somewhere before. Yeah. But at least within this lineup, you can talk about them individually. Yugi is a player that has shown promise in the past. We're talking about a player that can be flashy with it. But where is he?
I think he was showing a lot of promises, and many people were regarding him as a potential next star in terms of AWP in Denmark. And I don't think the past team that he's had, he didn't really succeed in that regard. I think people were left hungry still a little bit watching Yugi play. Now that is a new opportunity for him to shine. But you were talking about how AZ needs to pick up or get back to his best level. I think that the same goes for Kirby. I think AZ and Kirby are two players that used to be star level. We used to talk about them as potential superstars. Kirby was MVP of a major once, if we do remember it. But they have fallen off. They haven't played to that level for the longest time.
Well, in this matchup, we know Yugi is to be an opper.
Yep.
And we know that basically a few people can pick it up over there on the side of Liquid. Does that pose a problem for North?
No, I think it's the opposite, because they know that the thing is, AZ will sometimes pick up the secondary AWPing duties for North, but it's ride or die with Yugi. Whereas with Liquid, if no one's feeling that AWP, if nobody can do it, then it's going to fall to Nitro, and that might take away from other parts of his game. But the AWPing, at least, Stewie's been picking it up a bit more in recent times. I know when I was digesting...
can do it, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's everybody besides the Leash on that team can and will pick up the AWP if the moment requires it. And that's why this team, you know, I've spoken on Desk before where this could be a roster where I believe they could play Spawn-based Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Then I don't know if that's their plan, but everybody here has such a good understanding and such a good grasp of CS that that's why Liquid here in this situation should just be able to take North in 2.
But how good is your guys' grasp and understanding of Counter-Strike? If you had to put some weight into this matchup, if we had to really do that.
We know a little bit about the game. We used to play it. We used to play against each other.
We're good at pretending we know what we're talking about.
Can you guys pretend to give me your best prediction? Start with you, man.
Are we talking series, talking maps?
Let's talk the series.
Talk series, I'm going to say Liquid 2-0.
Okay.
I'm with that. I'm 100% on board with that. I think that Liquid are going to have their eye on the prize in this one right here, and they should be able to add this victory or this little notch on their belt to making it to the playoffs very quickly. I don't think there's too many teams on this side of the bracket that should be able to stand in their way, especially now that Vitality are in that lower bracket run, right? So that one weakness that they may have had, they've already been forced to the lower bracket by North.
Yeah, I think North will probably not win this game. I'm going to go ahead and go 2-0 for the side of Liquid just to get it out there. Team America, all that good stuff. But it is time to jump into the game. We have two gentlemen that have been sitting on the sidelines, sitting in the bullpen, waiting to get the call up into the majors. And I can see him just right now. And it's going to be Henry cutting in with his friend Sadakis.
Henry's cutting in. He absolutely is. Matthew, welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you. When was the last time I saw you?
I don't know. I do like one. This is like only my 5th or 6th event. This is awesome. It's actually sweet. I'm such a better person for it.
Generally, just better.
Well, sort of.
All right, well, you've got an exciting game to kick things off. Team Liquid versus North in the upper bracket, the first best of 3 of the day. I think I have to agree with the boys. Liquid definitely the favorites going to this one at 2-0 likely. But remember, North just took down Vitality off the back of their BTS victory over the weekend, so maybe feeling a little bit burnt out. Vitality, I'm not sure, but North put up a very good show, managed to bring back an amazing performance on Overpass. That was cool to see them win 16-14, but we'll start things here on Nuke. It's going to be Team Liquid on the CT side. Interested to see how Yugi will fit into the mix, the latest signing to replace Cadian, and it means Valda is now the in-game leader as well, so lots of changes.
And there's a lot to be said about Valda being the in-game leader. Sure, he seems like the type of person that's quite mature in his approach to the game. Doesn't take a lot of risks. He seems like he would fit well in that role, but at the same time, he was their top player last year. As Chad said on the desk, best player in Denmark outside of the 5 inside of Astralis. And we've seen players of that caliber succumb to sort of the responsibility, the burden of being an in-game leader. Nico certainly springs to mind for me, so it does raise concern, but I am more optimistic for this lineup than I was under the Cadian regime.
Absolutely, I do agree. We'll see how this round goes down. North for now have a couple of smokes, a PT-50, no armor on Valda. One of the smokes deployed towards outside. Both of them go down, in fact, so this is a chance now for the boys to make their way through. They've actually focused towards that ramp room. So trying to pull a player away from the ramp, and they've actually managed to do that very well. Stewie 2K resides towards the window position and lower. And North will put themselves in towards position where they could go towards lower, but they have no utility now. So maybe need Duran AZ to come through with the P250 as well. Just waiting for any sort of reaction here from the CT side, but they're holding up. They're not pushing at all.
Stewie, half. Both back around toward the yard. Have to try and rotate in and get position. Holding, for now at least, inside of heaven. These twists. They've got ramp clean too. He checks outside, sees no one further. Nitro's still above as well by the vent, so it's all on Stewie. He's got to wait it out. Kiabi takes him down immediately. That opens up the lower site. Nitro's gotten in the vents, at least in time, before the bomb's gone down. Twist's going to join him. Ooh. It's not really a crossfire angle, but it does give the other two a chance to run forward. Catwalk's been lost and bomb goes down. The position is still in favor of North.
Stuff so far, but Liquid still in this round. Still a lot of work to do. 3 versus 3. That's Nitro to find AZ. Bomb ticking away at some pace now. They do have a kit, but Nitro is the one who will have to go for the defuse here. They find the penultimate kill now. Naf stepping up, and Yugi, he'll wait towards the shadow position. Surely he'll be going down. Nitro gets the final kill. Defuse coming in. Their kit doesn't even matter at this point. Naf has got enough time. It will be Liquid recovering there. Nitro with 3 kills towards the end. North of a very slow pace round. As we mentioned, the smokes towards outside, designed to pull a player away from the ramp room, then sending everyone towards that position. They managed to get ramp control, and they waited. They want to see if there's any push in the CTs, but nothing came through. Very disciplined stuff from Liquid. But then North, they managed to get towards that window room, take Stewie down, bomb planted. They should be winning that round, to be honest. And it will potentially be a force buy in the second. We'll see if they're that way inclined. They're not. Deagles, no armor. Just going to try and cause some damage here as Twist, as usual, brings out that auto shotgun. You'll see him bring it out a few times. But Liquid's objective here, just deny the plant, try and keep as many players alive as they can.
Absolutely. Yeah, this auto shotgun, it's as old as the map itself. Certainly this iteration, the old iteration, Hiko used to play it. Good old Hiko.
In Team Liquid as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Where is he now? He's trying to fire on both mechanisms of the FAMAS. Couldn't quite get anything done outside, but spotted one on top of the silo. Stewie, meanwhile, does get gauged. Liege strikes back. Good check from Naf. Liege times it to perfection. Single smoke down. You said keep all players, or as many players alive as possible. They keep 5 up. That's not bad at all.
That's, yeah, really not bad. But it does put you in an interesting position for this round. Nuke, it's not such a big deal that you have a couple of SMGs and shotguns, for example, because there's lots of interesting positions and boosts you can bring in to give yourself a nice angle for a quick kill. If you think towards ramp room, you can boost up there. Playing above the hut, and SMG is absolutely viable in that position. But I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a bit of aggression here from the CTs. Just do some damage initially. Nitro and Elite will nade towards outside. Real damage done just yet. They try and fend off the upper rush with the incendiary. You have to see that thrown every single round pretty much. It's such a dangerous rush to hold off if you're not ready for it. And pretty standard stuff actually from Liquid. They did the initial nades outside. Stewie alone towards the ramp. He'll be just holding for information. Can't really frag too hard at that UMP. As North, very slow default again. We can see the smokes out towards outside, and it's just going to be Valda who's there. So going to focus towards upper now, Matt.
Twist. With one already off of the hut. Gade and Yugi to respond. Guns certainly prevailing against what was a bonus. Still is a bonus for Liquid. As Liege wants to sneak in the smoke. Valda inside of the door. They might allow him to survive and look for the exits at this point based on the positioning of Team Liquid. Doesn't really look like they've got much of a chance with Liege already outside holding. So it should go 2-1. AK would be a lovely thing to grab if they do play for the exits, and Valda could head that direction. And Liege would be the one to greet him if he does. But smartly, they leave as a unit so they can trade off of anyone who even dare try and get one of those AKs, and then even if they lose a man, they don't lose the weapon.
Well, it looks like Liquid will have to be satisfied with what they have. A UMP of FAMAS, not ideal, but it does keep the money strong. No rifles recovered. So like you said, that was a bit of a bonus round. So there is a buy there. It just won't be the most powerful. Whether they want to fully invest into it is still yet to be seen. Definitely a question mark around that. I'm seeing Deagles come out, so they are going to go for the more conservative approach here. Nova for Twist, which has been recently reduced in price. And Deagles for Naf and Nitro. It's still enough to win a round. It'll be very difficult to do so. It would take a mistake from North, maybe a couple of them, as they send a player down towards the vent. Making it through, easy. Successful so far. This frag, very important. It's the AK that comes out on top. And that means lower control is absolutely granted towards North, and they can slow it right down now. But Stewie's there quick, and he'll get an AK. So this round's still in contention.
Naf's just checking out toward the radio room with the Deagle. Can't be outside. Pushed up past the silo. Interesting position to hold. He wants to see if any CTs are going to look for a response, and they might need one because a decimation from North. He's the only one lost, and he got a kill before he went down. Valda catches out Twist and knows exactly what Naf is up to. Canadians die last, and it's 2-2, tie game. As the Northmen from Denmark come back with vengeance, you have to say. I mean, this is the T side, and the fact that Liquid actually sat back and went for the Deagles is, sure, understandable. They don't want to get broken completely, but at the same time, it does concede another round to the, I guess, disadvantaged side of Nuke.
Yeah, it's more big picture stuff. You'd rather take the more conservative approaches when you still have the freedom to do so, right? You're not giving away the lead. It goes 2-2, but now they have the AWP in the hands of Nafly, who'll be the outside focus on the city side of Nuke. What's the play here? North will be sending Kiabi towards the main entrance. He's on top of the roof by himself. Valda joins him, but very tentatively with the bomb all the way back at T-Red. So Naf, defensive angle as North sending more and more map power towards the outside position. 3 of them in total now. Looks like an upper split could be on the cards. Yugi and AZ wait patiently towards the vents. Flashbang towards main entrance suggests they might heading towards the heaven position. We'll see as they get garage control.
Trying to find anything he can with the AWP, but the smokes down backside big garage are quite clever because he knows they're over there, and Vault is able to walk out unsighted, find a headshot angle, and Naf is removed. Very good outside take from North.
Absolutely, very well done. Always known to be a tactical team. Here's the reaction from Team Liquid though. Trying to push through, they have spotted a player towards that squeaky door. It's a nice kill, but it's cost them manpower towards upper. They have to reclaim that area now as North get ready. On top of heaven, Elige knows it. He's trying to reclaim territory here. Such a difficult angle to peek. You can see him ready. Knows where the flashbang comes from. He knows their tendencies. That's a nice frag. But still, the push towards the bomb side comes through. And Twist, he looks like he's in trouble.
Twist doesn't always look like he's in trouble when he's that composed. Knew exactly where they were going to fire back from, but he does go down. Stewie has to recover. Bomb dropped, remember.
Ooh.
And what a reaction shot to Kierby. Could have played that more conservatively, you'd have to say, but still got away with it.
Could have played for the bomb, could have listened for a footstep. Time was low, but that's just not his style, is it? He takes the peek towards heaven and absolutely nails that shot. Fantastic stuff. Stewie had an up and down tournament over at BTS. Said himself he wasn't too happy with his individual performance, but that was absolutely wonderful. Liquid will take back the lead here. Still feeling the burn financially after losing 4 players. Compensate with auto shotguns, MP9s here. And now, once the upper push come through, it is going to be Gage finding that first headshot. Takes down Twist. And now, let's see if there's anything to be said on this retake here. Elige. The M4 smoked out of position. Look at all the damage that's been done. They might not be aware of it, but they've done so much work here. And Liquid are actually going to give in, just due to the fact that money's so low. It's a 5 versus 4. Sure, they could definitely win the round, but they won't be aware as to how low North are. It just takes a single kill, that upper rush. We said it was potent. They managed to get through all the grenades and find themselves around on the board. Having a great T-side so far. 3-3 after losing the pistol somehow, and what it seemed like a massive advantage is Nitro looking for the knife kill. We said money is a bit of an issue, but still there's $600. Another player towards the top of the ladder, and he's low, so I don't think it'll be challenging too much. Nitro might be able to get away with the AK here. Who actually went down. Yugi got dropped. Look how low their HP is.
They tried to play that last time in the lobby, and Yugi was on about 16. He went down to 12, so the threshold is inside of the lobby. But this time they won't be as fortunate. Gun goes down, 3-3. Liquid gets at least 1 round prior to dropping this one, but they get a little bit of a bonus simply by the fact that they have to reinvest. So the economy's very honest on both sides. In fact, so honest for Liquid that no one really has anything left over aside from Naf. And a shotgun, a pump shotgun this time for Twist.
The Nova is out to play, and it will be Stewie that's going to find the first headshot. This time aggressive towards Ram. You don't see many players take that duel at the very start. 1 flashbang in, takes down 1. That's going to be AZ. Massive advantage, and he gets out safely as well. They can really fall back overall. Elige, I like this angle. You don't really expect him to be there. Clinical shot as well. 5 versus 3. And Liquid, massive advantage. Just need to go back into the crossfires and try and keep 5 players alive here. Money has been such an issue for them.
Nitro just holding it out toward the silo. Pop flashed out towards Squeaky. Unfortunately, the Nova, not the auto, couldn't quite catch them off. Should have leveled Glaive sooner. As it is going to be Naf following up on the kill at least. They force the player out from the vents, but not from the hiding of Hutch. Until Naf finds the angle in return. Yuki gets the shot back. Bomb still down on the site. Stewie and Naf, though, have the advantage. 1 on high, 1 on low, and they've already spotted him. They couldn't quite get him on the first try. Repeak unsuccessful. And Liquid retain the lead by 1.
Yeah, a lot more expensive than they wanted it to be, though, however. That was 5 on 2, essentially, and it comes right down to a 2 versus 1. Match will be paused. Remember, at DreamHack events, the coaches can talk in the freeze time as well, so it means they get a little bit more input overall, especially on the T side.
You've got to be quick and concise as a coach for that 15 to 20 second period. Yeah. You've got to be very to the point. So it's an advantage, yes, if you point out something that you may have had a mistake, such as your smoke missed, by the way, or try this, but you can't really pull out the playbook in that freeze time, right? Yeah. So it's a bit of an advantage, but it's not a huge one.
Yeah, it's a nice balance, I think. Still means the in-game leader has to be on point with the mid-round calls and stuff like that, but it means the coach can actually at least give some input.
Yeah, you're right about the mid-round, absolutely. But you're right, he could say, hey, let's do the 3-2 split we talked about, right? Indeed. He can still implement a strat in that time.
Absolutely. Well, North will have enough to bring up 4 rifles, 1 pistol. That's the Deagle for Yugi. You won't see absorb too much in the piece out of Nuke, but we'll see if it develops into the game. Still enough to win the round. The utility bit of an issue here. Kiabi with absolutely nothing. Vado just a flashbang on the 1:35 mark. Naf still AWPing outside. Hasn't had massive success yet, but very capable in this spot. It's a difficult one to play with all the smokes that get deployed so often as they're towards that main roof. Knows the flash, or the smoke I should say, has been thrown. So trying to find an angle at this point. Gets it, but there were so many players on his screen, he shoots right in the middle of all of them.
The backwards momentum, straight pop flash. It always looks odd the way that it's thrown. Stewie tries to take position from radio. Twist is very good, always has been, at pushing in through the HUD and timing it to usually find a kill or at least information. They've got that now.
It's a really nice play. Now, after seeing those smokes, and Naf cool that he sees 3 outside, why not push lobby? Let's reclaim some territory here and make sure we can't be split. And we have an understanding of they're most likely end up towards lower through secret, but they haven't really done that well with the smokes they deployed already. They've got barely any utility, but they have got a bit of luck, it seems. AZ through the smoke will find Nitro. And damage done towards Nafly as well. He's on the hut roof right now of an AWP. Really not ideal.
Yeah, that's a huge commitment. Is he expecting the fact that they're going to retake Heaven? Is he looking that direction? He's dropped down to the floor at this point. If he stayed rafters and played the catwalk, he would have had a better angle to actually counter off anyone in Heaven. But this is still unorthodox enough to find anyone at main. The 3 players Heaven. I don't think they can stop this. I don't think Twist can do anything. You'll hear them drop down. Finds one already on the UMP, but left in the open because Naf could not find the kill he needed. Stewie can't either through the door. Valda gets it in return. And it fell apart. The information looked great from Liquid, you're right, but they just couldn't get it done. Couldn't read it right outside.
Yeah, Nafly with the low HP in that squeaky door position, very committed. If he misses one shot, he goes down. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and that's exactly what happened as soon as he's dropped. Twist is compromised as well. Twist actually did a pretty reasonable job. He had the UMP, got the 1 kill, but then he got killed from main entrance. If Nafly had hit the shot, they'd probably win the round there. All in commitment for sure, as North will bring a round back. Lovely round by them. A kill through the smoke is the catalyst to their success. And Liquid now on the 4 spy. They're going for this one. CZ, Seagulls, a UMP, 3 smokes, 3 flashbangs, not much, but something. As the AWP is now in the hands of Yugi. Decent spawn from as well. Nice movement to get himself quickly towards the ramp room. Anticipating the Stewie push once again, but this time he will hold back.
That Deagle shot is going to get dumped instead. Yugi sneaks out. I've liked Yugi. I did in Heroic as well. I think he's got a good style to him. He's not overly aggressive, but he's not going to sit and be a turret either.
Yeah.
Seems like someone that certainly can be molded well by a good in-game leader. See if Valda proves to be one, but having him on North, I think, is a good addition. And they've certainly gone through different iterations of Opper. Let's not forget Cajun B, then Mertz. Switched it to Katie, and while he was in-game leading, and now you're on to Yugi. It's the 4th Opper in what I would say that's a 12-month period, maybe a little more than that with Cajun.
Yeah, it's been an odd ride for them, that's for sure. I think is the first player to arrive on the scene towards lower. Almost 0 chance of winning this now with just the CZs. They've got a flash. It will take something remarkable now. Bomb planted in an absolute nightmare situation. They're fully invested here. They'll be eco next round. They save the CZs and armor because they've got no chance of doing anything with this. I think they are. You can see a player all the way in CT spawn already. There he is now. So they are going to save the little they have.
Danish team's a Nuke. They've got 5 rounds now on the T side. Certainly not what Liquid wanted. I mentioned giving up that 2nd round, conceding it almost on purpose by saving for the Deagles when it went 2-2. You mentioned doing it the long way, keeping money in their favor. Well, that's now gone, because this only yields them a 2nd round bonus, and they don't have much to save. So they're almost into another eco situation. We'll see what they come up with. No timeout called. They'll just use what they've got. In fact, not even any purchasing at all from Stewie. Not any purchasing from any of the 5, I should say. But Stewie notably, because he was the one that went down. Doesn't have any armor either.
Okay then, North. After losing the pistol, this is a fantastic spot to be in. Liquid know it as well. This has been a rough game for them. Money just hasn't been there. When it has, they're losing the first pick consistently. commitment coming through. Will they check the vent? Absolutely they will. It's easy to find one. Nitro tagged up, surely isn't worth more than that, and Liege can really be the only one that can do anything about this, but as he sneaks through the smoke, they are absolutely ready. The aforementioned Stewie with absolutely nothing will have that USP, gets a little bit of damage done, but another clean round there from North. They keep 4 players alive. They've got enough cash, I dare say, for the rest of the half. After the reinvestments, they're all sat around $6,000 to $7,000. Liquid getting back on their feet, but just about. No kits. 5 rifles, one of which is a FAMAS. 1 AUG. They've got enough. Only that 1 incendiary. So Twist, I'll be interested to see if he throws that straight away towards the main entrance. See if that's going to be enough. Indeed, he does. Sorry, towards the hut entrance. He's down towards lower. They've been feeling the pressure.
Twist. Smoke to the door. Cade puts Molotov down on Secret. Again, it's outside that North want to take, and Elige is forced off the angle where he's been so successful. That's probably been the most success they've had at shutting down outside, is when he gets inside of the Secret stairs. So quickly identified and dealt with by North, who pushed through, as we saw Volta do on round, I think, 4 or 5. With the smoke on the big garage, they called off Naf inside of lockers. This time it won't be so successful. He goes back towards CT, and a great push from Nitro and Stewie to take out AZ. They've actually got the man advantage on the Liquid side. Spotted as well up by the AC unit. Naf's trying to find the angle with the AUG.
It's a difficult shot. I'm not sure who comes out on top here. Nafly not aware where the players move towards, and the duel continues here. They have 40 seconds remaining. Still a 4 versus 3 in favor of Liquid, but they know exactly where Naf is. They've got him isolated. Nice work, patient stuff from North, but a good reply. Twist will keep them in the round. They desperately need this one, as the lead is starting to get a little bit troublesome on the T side of Nuke. 25 seconds. Gade knows he can cause damage here, but no secrets to find. Towards the hut entrance is where they're residing right now. That should be the round at this point. 15 seconds remaining. Yugi with the AWP and no bomb.
They know that. They know that he can't do anything with this, so why even face him at this point in time? They'd love to get the AWP down, but the money for North swelling at this point, and the money for Liquid is pretty much non-existent. Keep 3 players alive. Counter-terrorists win. And start to build up a bank. They'll be just down by 1 at this point in time. I say just. That brings the bonus back to 1 round apiece for either side. So it's still not like Liquid are out of the woods just yet. But they're staying in touch, and we'll get a full timeout this time around.
Yeah. And they've got the AKs at this point. No AWP, but I'm not sure that was the main issue of their CT side. It's just been a very strong game from North.
Why does Kierby have the hashtag stop toxicity, but no one else does? Is he the most toxic in the team?
Could be.
It's like a little punishment. They gave him that jersey.
You gotta remember this kid. Well, the timeout. We'll see AWP come out for Yugi this time. Obviously saved from the previous round. Let's see if that's going to be enough. Round 12 coming through. North always been known to be a tactical side. Be interested to see how they operate under the leadership of Valda, who's currently top fragging. He's got double digits first on the T side, 10 kills, 5 deaths. I'd say Valda's always been a bit of a nuke specialist. That's where he seems to do most of his best work. 2 players towards ramp again. Elige focusing towards Secret. It seems to be the adjustment has found them relative success there. Stewie will once again be towards ramp, one of the least forgiving positions in CSGO. So tricky to find any sort of kills, and you have to be disciplined and sometimes just have your objective as staying alive. And that's what Maniac was talking about in the desk. Stewie doesn't necessarily have a star role in the team anymore. He's not necessarily support, but definitely not as flashy as he used to be.
Smokes down radio again. Stewie wants to get aggressive from the ramp position. He's going to back off. So he's gone for the aggressive ramp play because he hasn't had a lot of activity rather than the efficient Zippix drop down, stay alive sort of approach. But
that's not going well.
Massively fluffed smoke. We'll see if Stewie reads it. He does. We'll see if he actually decides to be a little more efficient this time and back away. 13 bullets left before a reload is required, and 4 players that might challenge. The reload while he's blind, probably the best time to do it.
Yeah, that smoke couldn't have gone any worse for them. Do they still commit to ramp off this? I don't think they do. This is where the mid-round calling comes into its own, Matt. What we discussed before. Coach can do nothing about this. The original tactic's gone wrong, and they're going to have to substitute in an upper push here. Nitro, such an all-in position. Looks like they're ready to swing out and check it as well, but it doesn't matter. Nitro nails the headshot, bomb down.
And that's the power of an AK in that position for Nitro, because even if they swing, he hits the headshot. They might have been able to respond if it was only an M4. Instead, he holds the bomb at bay, and we go 6-6.
Yeah, you're right. The AK-47, such a valuable weapon. If you can find it on the CT defense, you get the one-tap potential as well. You can take more aggressive duels, and Nitro shows us exactly how to do that as well. Great position when the time's low. You know they can't necessarily check everything, or even have time to scramble together their trade. MP5 on the T side for Kiabi. All right, then. Teammates will have AK-47s. I guess they prefer a MAC-10. In terms of the cost and run and gun potential, MP5 isn't much better in many facets of the game whatsoever. The silencer, I suppose, beneficial from the CT side. Doesn't do much for you on the T side. Let's see if you can make it work. Round 13. Liquid starting to get back on their feet. It's been a rough game for them considering they won the pistol. There's that MP5. I.e. my words, it gets the first kill. He upgrades to the AK and he's cracked open the sight single-handedly. Thrown in as the bait, ends up taking everyone down. 5-on-2, round over.
Stewie sneaking back around toward the big garage will at least get Yugi, but you're right, it's not like the odds, if you were a betting man, just suddenly increased enough to encourage you to put into the pot. See if Nitro can change the fate, though. Swings around and realizes Stewie's down. His odds actually become worse, if anything. Bomb still ticking. Not going to find an AK at this point in time. Needs to stay alive as well based on the money, because this will only be a first round loss bonus. In fact, North, with all the money, still stay ahead. That'll be 1-1 in terms of bonuses. More curious now to see, we'll have a general idea of concept for where this money system plays, but more curious now to see sort of the runaway games change with the cap at 5 rounds, and now we can genuinely assess it rather than just being frustrated by that aspect.
Nice shot from Kiabi.
Do you see a world where we revert to the old system?
What do you mean? If we don't make a full...
If we just
come back
decide, nah, this didn't work, let's go back?
I don't think so. Unless there was something super broken with it. No, I was just about to say, I could have fallen apart with the boost there. No, I think it's okay right now. Definitely needs a tweak or two, but I would say the only one I would make is CT side default loss bonus would be 1900. That would be the perfect system, I think, for me. Just to keep the resources a little bit more fruitful overall. But it looks like North are going to be winning this half at least. 4-on-2, putting the foot on the brakes. And at this point, trying to work out where the last two CTs reside. It's Twist towards lower. Nitro's there as well towards the window rooms. They're taking a bit of a gamble here. If they do come lower, they'll certainly fight for it. If it goes up, they probably save the orb for the last round. Ooh, towards window at least. Looks like it might be a bit of a ruse though, Gade. Operating in a manner that only suggests he will be going down, at least from what I can see. Could be wrong. And they're all coming in, so this is the full commitment. We'll see the CTs fight this, presumably. That smoke will go down towards window momentarily. But still, with the bomb planted, not a massive amount of opportunities here.
Eight rounds T side for North. Best of 3, keep that in mind. We are into that phase of the event already. We got all of the show matches out of the way.
Exactly.
Now it's time for playoffs. Not quite, but the battle for playoffs really heats up now. And this series is a spot for one of these two teams. Just throwing away utility because why not? They've got so much money.
So much money. Last round coming up next. Have some fun. We'll see what can be done here in the final round. Liquid don't really have much at all here. They'll buy up what they can. Better than I thought. They're going to have a FAMAS and Twist. The rest of them do have M4s or Orcs. A couple of kits. They desperately need this last round. Not looking at themselves right now. Remember, Liquid just coming off the back of a defeat over in California, to the hands of Vitality 2-0 in the grand finals.
Which is, yeah, I mean, great for Vitality to get a win on the board, but Liquid again, another tournament where they should have absolutely been the victor. And here is a second opportunity with Astralis again not in attendance, that they could put their second notch on the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
They could actually take the lead in the Grand Slam running. Now, of course, they won't be at Cologne. Astralis will be. That gives Astralis a chance to get 2, perhaps. You have to think this is almost a must-win in that regard for Liquid. Like, this is an open door they need to walk
Absolutely.
through.
Yeah. You put it all together quite nicely there. But North, you can see they've been putting the hard work, and we haven't seen them in an event for some time, at least a big one like this. And you know these guys work hard. A lot of resources and money involved in the North organization, and they've got fantastic facilities, great staff members. You can see that they've done a lot of work on the theory side of the game, and this is looking good so far. Remember, they beat Vitality already. The team that took down Liquid last weekend, like we just said. 16-14, massive comeback on Overpass as well. And Liquid, they just don't seem up for this one right now. Remember, they won the pistol, got the 2-0 conversion, I believe, right? Yeah, 2-0 before the AKs came out, so they had a 2-0 start, and they could end up losing this half 9-6 on their CT side. This new coach for North, been with the team since January, and we have a slight technical issue now. We're just going to be restarting the game and hopefully be underway for the final round very, very shortly indeed.
Give you a bit of an update. We've got one player that's dropped, but Kiabi and Vold are both in double digits already on 11 and 10. I think Yugi was there about, but not quite ahead. He's the one that has left, so I can't confirm that with you right now. I can actually look at the scoreboard. He's on 8, so yeah, he was a little higher. But only Stewie to reach double digits so far on the Liquid side, and that comes on the CT side as well. That's normally where you're stacking up kills, so they just haven't been getting the job done. Credit to North, good outside control. Defining round for me, ultimately, is the round where they, NAF, low HP op, dropped off of Heaven, despite that they had the information on lobby. They thought maybe it was going lower and completely gave up outside.
Yeah, that was certainly an aggressive play. I think he was just banking on the fact that, sure, he's got low HP, he could hold towards Heaven, but he's likely to be smoked out, Molotoved out, naded.
The other thing that may have influenced his decision, I'd have to see a replay of it, or maybe you could just ask him outright, is maybe NAF thought he didn't spot enough at the big garage, and therefore they must have already been in secret. He may have actually miscalled himself on that.
Yeah, I guess also feeling the pressure from outside as well towards that AC unit. They put Twist with a UMP on the bomb side floor towards Heaven. As we saw, it all fell apart very quickly. This certainly hasn't been the best look for Liquid, but as you mentioned, this is the best of 3. We'll see now. Hopefully the last player getting in, I think, is one of the North players that's having an issue. Yugi, okay. So it'll be on momentarily.
Normally that's like way harder to do than it should be. You see 4 players and you're like, which one's missing? Which one's missing? And your mind can't comprehend process of elimination, but no, it's Yugi that's not in there right now. I figured it out this time.
Yeah, how long has he been in North for now? Must be like just over a month or something like that.
About that, time flies. Like you asked me that, I couldn't tell you that with an exact date. It's all a blur when you see the news headlines right now with player transfers and people moving all the time.
Yeah, Cadian was given about 6 months, I think, in North to turn the ship around. They had some good results. They won that small event in London we went to, right?
Yep.
That was about it, though. No one really talked about that event ever again.
More of a showcase event,
yeah,
really.
Indeed. So that was relatively successful. They even beat Na'Vi there, but overall, changes had to be made. And bring in Yugi, I would say one of the strongest AWPers from Denmark. Hasn't really necessarily seen the best career. We know he's very good mechanically. Individually, his teams haven't necessarily been the most successful. Hopefully this is where we get the very best out of him. Start lifting some trophies. Hasn't had to do anything too triumphant with the AWP just yet, but he was, or is, on the T side of Nuke. Final round coming in as we resolve this technical issue. Now from Stewie at the end, waiting patiently for the round to begin. Round 15, and there'll still be a FAMAS there for Twist. After giving up the last 2 rounds, they are still struggling to really make a dent here. Twist, 5 kills, holding the upper bomb site. Stewie at the very top with 10, who holds towards ramp. Naf with 7, outside play up. It looks like we're ready to go. North are back on the server. No ult for them required. And of course, 4 AKs, 1 Krieg, and of course full utility. Zendry throwing to block the rush. Jarby been so dangerous outside. Still potential upper execution coming in. Naf repositions towards garage.
Elige sits inside of the lockers with the AUG and watches for the cross. All double Molotov out toward the red crate. Will spew in toward the little cubby behind the blue box. And a quick check to make sure no one's pushed up. Nothing further until Kiabi drops down on top of the AC. He'll watch and see if anyone does peek. And then they'll go. So he holds position. They clear the angles, back off, reset for the smokes, and start to attack. Big garages, still a factor. Stewie sits inside of it, but he won't be able to see them and spot them heading in toward the stairwell, so they've already gotten enough to work lower. If they really want, they can slow it down with 49 seconds as well and force Liquid out of position. They can certainly cast doubt on the round, but it looks like they're going to go with 4 players already there. North's been very strategically wise in this game. That's a good sign for Volda taking over the in-game leading. Especially when they already have a player in vents as well. They can watch the rotation. Stewie has managed to get down below the silo, rotating from the ramp position. He's got support. Meanwhile, back toward the main entrance and hut, an upper. He'll still go North's way. They plant the smoke lower at the meantime, so rotation already cut off as they went back up and around. But Gade, he knows they've got to come in from the vents at this point. They've cleared out everywhere else. He gets toward the garage door, but looks the wrong side. That gives Elige a chance to get in. Nearly followed it up on Yugi. That might be the defining kill because Twist was caught out by Volda, who was removed from the site and out toward the secret entrance. It's all on Naf. Last round, he's got to go for it. 1-on-3. AUG, no kit.
Yeah, don't think he can do much of this one, I'm afraid. And there it is. It will be a fantastic half from North there. On the T side of Nuke, they find themselves 9 rounds. We'll throw it to a break and be back with half number 2.
Welcome back to Dallas. In some ways, where it all began in Counter-Strike some 18, 19 years ago.
The foundations were laid, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Not far from here. About 5 blocks from here, if my knowledge serves correct. But we've got history being written now with Liquid against North. North up 9-6, having swapped over from the T side. So in a fantastic position in the first map of this best of 3.
Yeah, they really are. Liquid really need this pistol. I can't stress that enough. They'll head towards outside and holding on to their smokes for now, but one towards main entrance. That quells at least Kiabi's presence towards the main entrance as they'll make their way towards secret for now. Valda will react and get himself behind the silo. He stole that position using the previous round. So really quite a poor showing considering they won the pistol, Liquid. Need this one though. Still with one smoke, a couple of flashes. They have got an upgraded pistol. We've seen that a lot from them. It's actually Twist and Naf for P250s and armor. So investing a lot in firepower here. And that's why they head towards outside, trying to find those one taps, but not being given any targets whatsoever. If they do get the bomb down, however, no kits, no smokes, nothing like that for North. They've gone for Kevlar across the board.
Quick take lower. Bomb in the hands, or on the back of Nitro, I suppose. It's not really in his hands. He's got a pistol in his hands. We've got Volda in the site. Can't wrap through the vents anymore. Have to take him directly. Very powerful position as a result, but he's actually given it up. Drops down, opens the doors. Slow reactions from Nitro, but it didn't matter because Elige was swift to the punch and the bomb to be planted. Stewie lurking as he often does, tries to spray into the smoke. Not sure he's aware that Kiabi's also there, so really gave himself up at that point. But it's information. They know where the last 2 are. They know they've got this round 9-7, and Liquid, I would say, desperately needed that pistol.
Yeah, they really did. At this point, North know it's gone, but they can farm a bit of cash here by picking up these couple of last players. But Twist denies that. Lovely shot there. Hasn't had many of them this game. That will be his 8th kill. First half, CT side, not his best, but he's still looking sharp. Kiabi, last player remaining. Don't think they'll find him.
And worthy of note, Liquid, this will mean they win both pistols and yet still trail after the CT side 9-7. So it kind of highlights the issues they had on their CT side. Let's see if they can make amends. Losing on Nuke, winning both pistols is of all the maps to do that on, it's certainly a challenge.
Yeah, and you've started CT side as well. You know, you'd expect them to post a strong half, but they really haven't. But they do win the all-important pistol, but they're up against a force buy. Now, I didn't expect that from North. We'll see what they can do with it. CZs, UMPs, Scouts. Yugi will have to deliver some damage here as probe towards our side.
And he fired a shot. They know he's got the Scout. Even still, he would have been spotted when he peeked out surely by at least one of the players outside. Couldn't quite see the perspectives, but unexpected was the word. They want to catch off Liquid. Now they're actually conceding the fact that they could give up 3 rounds. We could go 9-9. They're still in the game at that point. Good take. AZ was hoping they'd push through the vent. The other side first. Gate still gets back down. He's got the Kree. He's surrounded, however, and Nitro puts him in his place. It's the one-man advantage as Stewie adds to that by finding KRB in the sight directly. Vaulted down on the stairs. Just Yugi, man who started it, has to end it. Can't do it. I say started in the fact that he fired the first shot, but something tells me he won't fire the last in this round. It might be Stewie who's sneaking in behind. Is that Stewie? Excuse me, that's Naf sneaking in behind.
Decent attempt there from Yugi. Not really much to work with towards the end there. He had the Scout, tagged 1, but ultimately that's all he can do. Liquid, utilizing the smokes outside, managed to get towards Secret. Pistols can't hold them off for very long at all. North will find a couple of kills, but ultimately they have to take a full eco here. $3,000 pretty much for each player. They'll be able to buy up next round, but not much here. A PT50 for Gade and Vauda. 1 flashbang. Could stack towards upper. We'll see which way they're inclined. Vauda will go towards that main entrance. 3 towards the A site. Elige not wasting any time. He's only got that Mac 10, so he's happy to throw himself in to key choke points like secret area, see what's going on down towards lower. He knows they've got no armor at this point, so he can freely look around the halls and work out there is a stack here. He finds 2 of them, now 3. Don't know how he even makes that second kill a possibility, but he's confirmed it's a lower stack, so presumably they go towards upper now, but either way, it doesn't really matter. He's killed 2 players. Naf will follow it up with the 3rd, and AZ and Kiabi just trying to find anything they can at this point. Which is nothing.
The headshot from Elige on the second player is the impressive part. To hit a guy who's right in front of you, that's fine, but the fact that he somehow got a headshot on the last bullet looking straight up almost on a flick, that made it all worthwhile, and he stays alive to find a 3rd. Watch this shot. Look at this.
It's so good.
Boom. Okay.
And just one small note as well. The only kills found were from Mac 10s. Naf and Elige got 5 between them, so that's all the cash.
Money, money, baby.
Plenty of it. Too much money, if anything.
That's what we're going to call the documentary on Henry and I. Money, money, baby.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, we could call it, well, it depends on which one of us they're doing the documentary on, I guess, right? Like,
that's a good shot from Yugi. We didn't see much from his orb in the first half, but it strikes here in round number 19. This is a bit of a bonus situation for Liquid, considering they've come through with those Mac 10s again. Galil's AKs, but they've lost the first pick, but continue their presence outside. Smoke has got a pretty massive gap in it, but they're pushing towards Garage. It won't be a huge deal here. Oh, I say that with bated breath. Elige might walk past. Not quite. Yugi defensive towards spawn, looking to anyone that's on the main entrance right now. Kiabi's smoke gap will start to fade now, so no advantage remains.
Kiabi takes down Twists. That's 2 down. Favor of North again. We said 9-9 was almost inevitable, having lost the force buy, but 9-9 CT side. Get the guns out. You're still very much in contention. Kiabi works back down inside of the secret. This will pinch Liquid in. It'll trap them, and if they're not quick, they're going to be caught because of that. Good Molotov, but Volda gets out of there, only taking a tick of damage. Here we go. Kiabi knows they're in the vents. He's got the linear perspective. Oh, couldn't quite see it. Expecting the rotation to go back the other way. The fact that they get 2 kills and the bomb goes down. Tag only on an Naf from Yugi. He's stuck new box, but they might be able to get him down by wrapping, and Kiabi finally gets a kill. A little bit slow to get to it. Great reaction from Yugi. Catches Nitro trying to counter him off. And a smoke onto Elige. I think he knows this one's far gone at this point, as they're already on the defuse. Okay, they got off of it. Kiabi took the safe side of it, but Gade found the kill instead.
He had no kits there, to be fair, so it could have fallen apart if Elige gets that single kill, but he was smoked out. But actually decent work. It looks like North had that round completely tied up until there was a couple of kills found by Nitro and Elige. enabled them to get the plant down at least. But remember, that was their quote-unquote bonus round. They came in with the Gilils and the spare Max 10 as well. Managed to get a plant out of it. But Kiabi doing great work. And Yugi, that's what he's known for. Precise, up close warping there. Really fantastic to watch when it gets going. There's one more buy left in Liquid, just about. Not so much for North. Osman loves to reinvest and get their grenades. Have to juggle resources around as well. Round 20. This one could go the full distance. One recovered. Liquid slowing things right down. They're aware the AWP is out now, so need to use those smokes in an efficient manner. Bomb is all the way back at T spawn. Setting up for smokes now.
Taking their time to perfect the beats. Still got love for the streets. It's the smokes outside. Twist actually took a one damage jumping off the ladder. Why I tell you this, I don't know.
I found it interesting.
Thank you. We'll put it on a game of QI with Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
AZ holding still above with the Augs, gonna get 2 despite all of their chance to try and get that Molotov down. They open the door too soon. Means he was still on the hut, still at the angle, and the fight resumes. But at least it's close. They pull 2 back. Kirby's on 44, and they force him back behind the silos. He's got support from Gade. And both Liquid players forced out towards Squeaky in the vents have the bomb, which means the win at the vents, and 2 kills, in fact, from Twist, as he got Yugi as well. They can rotate lower, and Gade is left to chase. Bomb. It's gone out the wide side. Rotating down the vent, back through Decon, and gets planted, and Nitro waits to wait for Gade. He finds 10, and Liquid tie the game back up.
Oh my goodness. What a round. Liquid certainly getting the job done on their T side, it seems. Here's the replay coming through towards that upper bomb side. It's a Liege. And Twist doing the majority of the damage there. Fancy footwork to get down the vent afterwards as well. We are going to see things indeed go to 10-10. Previous round cost North a lot of cash, and it's reflected now with the pretty much full eco here. A couple of Deagles thrown into the mix of 5-7. No armor, no nades, no kit. So there's no chance they give this one up, but Nitro is the first one to drop there. That's going to be the hands of Gade in that 5-7, but trying to run away with the AWP, not going to happen. Naf now has full control of the upper bomb site. The Molotov towards Heaven confirms that. And he's watching main entrance. He's given the call. A couple of players have made their way through. Oh my goodness, Naf couldn't be more unlucky with the timing there. As soon as he pulls out his grenade, that's when they run through the smoke. But it looks like things will be absolutely fine here. And Naf needs to be aware there's actually 2 towards that main entrance as he continues to push. This is maybe too aggressive. Hungry for frags, a bit of a bloodlust going on. But still, they've got the advantage. It's just cost him a lot of cash here, maybe a bit more. You do not need to challenge him. He's not going to win this round. Just play together and make sure he cannot leave with a rifle.
You were right about Naf's nade timing, but fortunately they didn't really push the smoke all the way. They just got inside of
They were just trying to grab
entrance.
the AWP, I think, which was down in that position.
Well, it's in the hands of Stewie now. Volda knows that's where it was. He's gone all the way around outside to try and get there. And Twist will find him. They read him like a book. And it's now 11-10. So Liquid pulling back the lead surprisingly on the T side after a pretty lackluster start.
Yeah, they've only given up 1 round so far in the second half. 5-1 in their favor. It was just round number 4 due to that defuse towards lower. They gave up their money. Not fantastic considering they're 5-1 up, but it's established. They've got to buy in reserve. Stewie looking towards that main entrance with the AWP, trying to find any gap he can. Slightly close the door after him, after spotting no opportunities whatsoever there. And North will be established towards upper. We've seen lots of this slow-paced gameplay on the T side from Liquid ever since Adren joined their ranks. He's the coach these days, been there for a few months now, but you can really see his play style implemented into the squad. Former Team Liquid player himself back in the Hiko days we discussed earlier.
Stewie got past all of that surprisingly well.
Yep.
Molotov down behind him, 2 people spamming, if I'm not mistaken. It might have just been 1. It sounded like 2 in my ears. Easy, I think, was firing over from lockers as well, and only loses 10 HP. don't know that he's going to be so lucky with, oh, this nade, I was going to say, but AZ realizes he probably is best not to throw it because they would punish him for it. He wouldn't have had the gun drawn in time. They rotate around a decon to try and access the site. Stewie's the one that waits there. Bomb still in the hands of Nitro is actually going out toward the control room. That can be caught by AZ if they're not careful, but Twist hits the shot instead on the AK. Yugi back to standard procedure on the AWP. Will get him in return. Wow, but he's Molotov'd off, and you are right. That is a perfect play. Smoke one side, Mully the other. Yeah, not much they can do with that at this stage, and the lower bomb side looks to be in favor of Liquid. The bomb goes down, the odds of them winning the round goes up dramatically. Such a difficult retake, especially when you got Nasty Naf waiting at the back lines. He'll be getting headshots all day. Stewie chimes in as well. Looks like the double kill is available to him. He will be dropped in the end, but the round has been won. Kiabi will have to try and fall back with the AWP at this stage. Lost bonus will be at absolute maximum for them. That's $3,400 per player. With the orb saved and $1,000 on Yugi, I guess they could buy into it, but I would say probably not worth. That's if he even survives, and he's missed the shot, and he'll be punished for that. Nafly really coming into his own now. Fantastic round there. Holding off towards the secret steps, aware of the rotations from upper. He nails the headshots. Really nice position on the railing. And it will be 12-10 in favor of the North Americans here on home soil. Here's the replay of Naf. Really clinical stuff here. The jump up as well. He actually has a disadvantage of that second frag and nails it. Denies the orb save as well. And I'm going to assume this will be a partial buy. So 5-7 Deagles at UMP. These are the rounds that win more often than not. Just when a T-side looks really comfortable, they're running way over half, they give one of these rounds up and all bets are off. CT's get a ton of money. We'll see if that's the case. Nitro with the orb on the T-side, and it's Stewie 2K this time fending off the CT aggression towards outer. Good shots all round. They've got ram control, a 5-on-3. Yugi, very, very good with the Deagle. Not this time, no. Naf, that was incredibly fast. 5-on-2, AZ. Protecting lower. Good for one kill. Difficult spot to play, especially if he missed the first couple of shots. All in on the headshot angle. Doesn't work out for him and looks likely to be a clean sweep here.
Bomb has been planted.
It's completely removed. And you're right, clean sweep. It's now, at this point, 7-1 in the half T-side for Liquid. That is a remarkable turnaround. They looked a little bit flat at the start of the game. They held their composure. There wasn't like they were being frustrated or tilted. They just giving up too much map control. And we are seeing this version of Nuke with the teams that know it.
Yeah.
It can be, I won't say T-sided, but certainly a lot more balanced than we say.
A lot of us were discussing over the weekend, were saying the T-sides of Nuke have been disappointing the last year. I feel like teams have been quite lazy almost. I feel like the Astralis factor in that as well. People have just been scared to research and put a theory into it. It's like, oh, we just won't play it. Like, it's been the lock and key for the world's best team. But I feel like now we're starting to see what is possible. And speaking of which, Gade is showing us what's possible with the Org. That's going to be 3 kills for him. Mows them down towards upper as Liquid try and change the pace. Very slow so far. But this was much better than North. It'll only be their second round, but what a round it is. Very clean. Still in this game, not going to just roll over, it seems. Liquid will probably go back to the slow-paced gameplay, I'd imagine, at this point. After experimenting, having a little flirt towards upper. Doesn't work out for them. We didn't catch a frag here, but his Gage showing us pretty standard position. You see he's not blind and hasn't got too much pressure from multiple angles there, especially at the same time. So Liquid just trying to throw in a Hail Mary, go for that knockout punch. Not going to find it just yet. Another full buy with no orb, just a note. And one more buy left in them overall. This is a kill for Yugi though, no problem at all. Nafly really just trying to crack things open by himself. Taken down early. You'll see the orb rotating towards Ram from about once every 3 or 4 rounds. Flash over. Kiabi fancies it. Doesn't fully commit to the angle. Found a only presence towards secret steps.
Kiabi just holding it out, knows that they've gotten around him, that they've pushed him off the angle. He has support from the stairs, so doesn't have to worry about the big garage. That's touching against Nitro. The problem with that is he has bomb. Oh, they try to recover the bomb, nearly get caught. Elige somehow gets away, taking down Volda, and then that allows Stewie inside of the big garage, catching off Kiabi, who didn't know he was there, giving Stewie the angle to find AZ afterward, and we're back to a 2-on-2.
That's sick because his teammate, Twist, he drops down off the main roof, and that's a sound cue, right? The CT's assuming, oh, I know exactly where he is. I pinpointed that drop, and he swings out to try and find him, but Stewie absolutely clotheslines him with the AK. 2-on-2. They are right back in this round, and they've got time and resources to work with here. They'll head towards lower. 4 throwing just a cheeky little Molotov towards that upper bomb side, just to keep Gade entertained on that side of the map. Is there anyone towards lower, though? Yugi, presumably, he can only hold towards ramp, or indeed, they have in position. They've got a free plant here, Matt. They had to just take a deep breath and go for it outside of Decon. Bomb planted behind the silo, and all of a sudden, huge advantage for Liquid here. But Yugi had to nail that shot. He gets the second bite of the cherry. Does connect, but doesn't get the frag.
Yeah, pretty much through two walls, the roof and then, or floor rather, and then the door that formerly was toxic. Twist gets Yugi down. He knows where he's been coming from. Gade, you're right. He has a smoke. He has a kit. He's going to put himself with a wall rather than on the bomb. Flash on the opposing side, but Stewie fires into it, and Liquid find 14.
There was a chance there. I didn't mind that attempt towards a lower bomb site and the retake. Smoke down, flashbang in, could have been a defuse opportunity, but Liquid now, what a solid T-side this has been. It'll be a tactical timeout from North here. They're really struggling to find big rounds on their CT side, currently down 8-2. And both of them have been gun round victories, to be fair. Do they have enough resources to invest into this one? I would speculate yes. AZ 4K, Gade 3K, the rest of them own about $5,500. So there is enough money there. This was the dicey moment, but Stewie 2K hitting some brilliant shots that round. Closes it out, preempting the crossover through the smoke. Gets the kill. A P90 for Gade here. A weapon we're actually seeing creep slightly into the meta. BTS, we saw it maybe 5 or 6 times some big rounds. 50 bullets, it costs $2,350 for that gun, and you do not get extra kill bonus. It's a standard $300 per kill. That's why it's not very popular. I might need a little bit of love for it to be more viable, but still, in terms of it being a weapon you can find frags with, map like Nuke, it can be very beneficial.
Kirby just waiting it out with the hog outside. Valda. He's the one that's tasked inside of the secret stairs. Bomb this time in lobby, though. So all a ruse. All a ruse indeed. Kirby's rotated it over. Valda's there. AZ's inside of main. They're certainly putting the attention outside. Flash a little bit late. To be caught in the air. Yugi's identified the fact that they actually want to get in the ramp, has to back off of it. This time, the op gets into an uncomfortable position, won't be able to retake B from the doors. Instead, has to look backwards through them and make sure no one's pursuing his position. A tag for Kirby, I think that was heard. Elige knew it. The second that he took the damage, they all turned that direction. They want to try and run them down. Elige will take Kirby. They've opened up outside and heaven by virtue of going through the ramp room.
No utility really on the CT side now. They're going to rely purely on firepower. They've lost a really key frag there. AZ painted into a corner. Nitro starting to pick them off now, and this kill means everything. AZ will get it back. Pistol has to come out from Nitro. Still a 2 versus 2. AZ alive by the skin of his teeth there. Takes nade damage, downs away, bomb planted. No hits available, and now fly. That is absolutely brutal. It looked like Liquid were entering this game slow. They didn't see themselves. Their CT side was weak, but their T side has been so electric to watch.
Twists will hold off on the site. Easy, not much in it. Mirage comes up next. And that will be a map that Liquid typically is far more comfortable on, so this is a steal. And it is literally because they did this on the T side.
Yeah, and this is North's picker, obviously, so this is big news. Right? It looked like North was so comfortable on their T side, but Liquid are just putting on a clinic right now. And it seems like, just to go back to the conversation we had earlier, like teams are putting more effort into their T sides now. It seems like that there's more executions available. There's more fakes going on, and it's more of a mind game where they can have the advantage with those outside smokes. They're doing more creative things with them. So 15-11 could be a lock-in at this point for Liquid to steal away the first map pick. One more round will do it. These shotguns are coming out, the FAMASs, the lack of grenades in general. And it looks like a fast-paced game again. He's trying to get his way down towards events. Doesn't take any damage, but he certainly gets some attention. They're going to have to rotate down towards lower now as Gate. He'll position himself in the hut with the auto shotgun. This couldn't have gone any better for Liquid. They're going to play it down the vents. They've still got all their smokes to deploy outside. Another curveball thrown into the system here. Kiabi, I like this position though. Knows he has to get a few frags, but if it's detected, it can go very wrong very quickly.
Push through though. Kiabi That's biting off more than they can chew. AZ tries to fire back as they get back in through the smoke.
Damn.
Towards Secret. Elige is already down and in the vents. He catches out Gade, and we might have the game wrapped and done at this point. There is a crossfire set. Yugi, this time without the op, has to go aggressive. He finds Nitro in the control room, and although the bomb is there and dropped, they've got many more players able to pick that up. Twist knew exactly what Volda was up to, and Elige closes it out 16-11. Liquid take map 1, stealing it from North, and I quite literally not only mean that in virtue of that it is North's map, but that was an incredible tournament to get on the T side.
I was not feeling it for their second half at all. Their CT looked so weak, and remember, they won both pistols as well, and they were trailing somewhat. It felt like it was all going to go wrong for them. The CT side was quiet, but the T side was rowdy, as you like. Great calls there. Individual performances started to turn up as well. We saw Nowfly holding off North, left, right, and center. Fantastic stuff from him. Nitro's AWP came into full effect on the T side. Yugi, we kind of question whether he'd be stepping up with the AWP that game as well.
Sure.
He did in some moments, but it's difficult to really sink your teeth in as a star AWPer on either side of Nuke.
Yeah, and the problem was he was very limited playing op on ramp so many times and not really having that op outside where you get the freedom of movement, you get many more angles. The fact that he's kind of stuck on either retaking at the double doors or falling off passively, which we saw when they in the second last round when they took Heaven by pushing him back and going all the way through.
Sure.
It just didn't give him enough options, I don't think.
Well, he will have more options going into map number 2, more of an AWPer's playground there. It is going to be Mirage. Currently, Liquid steal away the first map pick of North, which was Nuke, but hopefully North will be able to turn up and get a bit more done on their CT side because that was a little bit underwhelming for them. We'll take a few minutes and be back with map number 2 very shortly indeed. We'll see you there.